earthquakes or about the plague town, and then you come and you see that after in 1906 or 7, these prophecies are repeated again. So does that mean that the one prophecy which has been already fulfilled in the time of Hazrat Muslim, and then as for I myself was reading through it, I feel that there is a chance of the plague again and all those. Yes, sir. So could you please?
In fact, I wrote an essay on this very subject about 12 years or so ago, and that was published in Al-Furqan when Hazrat was alive at that time, and when he was the editor and the proprietor of course of Al-Furqan. So he asked me to write something on any subject, so I chose this plague. And my approach was this, that I went into the history of plague to understand the phenomena, because Muslim had laid great stress on this fact that this plague is not just like any other ordinary disease. It has been particularly chosen by Allah to punish the transgressors and those who refuse to believe. So when I read the history of plague, I was wonderstruck by the fact that plague had also appeared in the time of the first Messiah. And when I pursued the history of plague from then onward, I was again surprised by apparently coincidences, but they were not coincidences, they were decreed things. That the plague, first time it struck only that small area where Christ appeared and he was refused and then he was persecuted. So it was a limited strike of plague, only to that area where atrocities had been committed against Jesus Christ, peace be upon him. And after a while it disappeared, and then it reappeared after exactly 100 years from that time. And when it reappeared, its sphere was much wider, but not wider than the world of Christianity. Wherever Christianity had been persecuted, plague appeared, and it covered a part of Roman Empire in the second coming. Third time it came after an absence of a few hundred years, at the time of just before Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam, peace be upon him. And then the plague came not to help the Christians but to punish the Christians. And this area was extended right up to Mesopotamia. And the whole Christendom suffered from this plague, and that was a warning that we have not been only destroyed spiritually, but you have been rejected now totally. The same sign which came to aid you, to help you, has now come to punish you. And that was the interesting thing about plague, that it spread along the Christendom and left Arabia alone, just bypassed it. Through Syria, it went further east, and it did not travel down to Mecca or Medina. So fourth time the plague appeared was exactly 1400 years from Jesus Christ. And this time it came to Europe, and mainly it struck Europe. And the whole Christendom was stricken very terribly with this plague. This is called in the history of Europe as Black Death. It is known as Black Death. So this plague played havoc with European life, European cities and states, to the extent that in some places 25% people died of plague, in some places 50% people. I'm talking about the figures of the countries. And 50% of the whole population was wiped out by plague. It was so terrible. And the Christians, to prove that Allah has not been unjust, behaved so cruelly to Jews that they proved the fact that now they had taken the part of the Jews and they had become hard-hearted like Jews and said they deserved that the same punishment which was meted out to Jews once. They burned thousands of Jews alive, blaming them for this plague. And in some countries, some European countries, as many as 7,000 Jews are recorded to have been burnt alive in their houses. For the crime they had not committed, they said, because you are bad people, so plague has come. And by that act they were proving they are quite the contrary. They were proving that we are the bad people, the plague has come to punish us. So plague has a very special relationship, not only with religion, but the idea of Messiahhood. That is what is important. It does not come to the aid of other prophets normally in history, nor does it come to punish those who oppose other prophets, but only it has a special relationship with Messiahhood. This is why Hazrat Masih Maud was given this sign, and the 100 years are about to approach us now. The cycle of 100 years will be completed in 1898. So if it doesn't come earlier, I mean, nobody can say it will definitely complete the whole cycle. Sometimes things apply broadly speaking, not very sharply, that exactly it should be 100 years, because nowhere it is written that it should be exactly 100 years. But judging from the past history and the vast behavior of plague, one can reasonably expect that it would strike again and more widely in about 1998 or so. Is not enough?
That's not answer. Well, in that case, the same thing will apply to Ahmadis and the believers, the true believers of Hazrat Muhammad.
Of course, as long as they remain true believers and fulfill the conditions, it will apply, that guarantee of safety will apply to them as well. But if they have transgressed, to that extent they will be out of this cover. But on the whole, I cannot realize any situation where plague treats both equally. It's impossible. Because we have not yet conquered, we have not yet reached that point where we can say we have fulfilled the purpose of our creation. So naturally before that, we will not be permitted to be destroyed morally by Allah, inshallah. And the plague will show the same difference between Ahmadi and non-Ahmadi, generally speaking. Some Ahmadis were struck by plague even at the time of Masih Maud, but they were so few in number, and many among them were also saved, that the distinction remains clear and observable by everybody.